Close enough. So I'm Fred Olness. I'm a physics professor at SMU and the director of the fair for this year. I've been with the fair for some 30 years and have really enjoyed it. Particularly enjoy seeing the creative projects that the students bring each year, and it's a real pleasure to be here. Uh, I will, as I said, I'll put a few things in the chat, but just let me point out the key dates. So in this cycle, our regional fair will be February 22. That's a Saturday, and we will be back in Fair Park. And that gives us about a month before the Texas State Fair. Those dates are tentative. Those are to be determined still. And then the International Fair this year will be in May, and that will be in Columbus, Ohio. And we had the pleasure in 2023 of hosting that in Dallas, and hopefully we'll get to do that again in the future. So let's see, Heather, anything on this before I switch to your screen then?
No, I'm going to go over some basics just for the new folks, and then we'll
Sure.
dive right
Sounds
into
good. So
them.
I will turn it over to you and
Okay, give me a minute, folks. Not that technology isn't my favorite thing, it's just not always kind. So let's see if I can share my screen successfully.
and
All right, so can you see my slide?
that looks good.
Okay. I'd like to go back to, hold on, it's thinking about it. Okay, I think I have control now. My PowerPoint is faltering. Okay, so my name is Heather Hankemer, and I am the immediate past president of the Dallas Regional Science and Engineering Fair. And I see a lot of familiar names on the screen, so thank you for joining us today. Let's see, I can't tell if I'm sharing or not. Anyway, we are the qualifying fair for not only the Texas State Fair, but ISEF, the International Science and Engineering Fair. We cover all of Region 10. We are a qualifying fair, so your students come to us through your fairs. Our participants are from any of the regions. Let's see, somebody's putting some, oh, that's probably Fred. Any of the regions in Region 10, and we are only middle school and high school. So we do not do an elementary fair. So we start taking kids and students when they're in 6th grade. So the question for the newbies always is, how many kids can we actually send? And the answer is 2% of your enrollment. And I mean your total enrollment. So if you have 3,000 kids in 6th grade, or however many kids from 6th to 8th grade, you can send 2% of those kids. So that is, and we don't really count that, but it's kind of an honor system. But if you only want to send 1 or 2 students, you may also do that as well. So there is no rules around how many less than the 2% you can send. So we are our own 501c3. We are in partnership with SMU. SMU has run the fair since its inception, and we have a wonderful committee of people, not only ISD administrators and teachers, but also community members that believe in the power of science fair and donate their time to make sure that the fair happens every year. We, like Fred said, we are on February 22nd, and this is the basic flow of the day. So we check in students for about an hour. They get the first round of category judging. So student interviews, we adhere to the ISEF rules of you must have at least 2 category judges. And then sometimes students also see a special award judge. We boast quite a few special award donors, and we are really proud of that. So we hope that students get a really robust interview process during the fair. And then we also host a grand prize judging session, which is every student that won first place in their category gets to come back and interview in front of our esteemed grand prize judges. And then they are awarded for middle school. We have a grand prize and then a grand prize runner-up for both physical and now I've forgotten, but the 2 categories. And then for senior division, the grand prize judges also select our 9 international qualifiers. So, and again, like Fred says, that's going to happen again at Fair Park. We will be back in the automobile building, which we have grown to love, and so that will happen on February 22nd. A quick note about teachers and family members during the fair. We ask that to ease our process with that many students, we generally see about 1,000 to 1,200 students come to the fair. We ask that parents not come in the building, and teachers may volunteer their time as long as they are not out on the floor during interviews. So make sure when you're communicating early with your parents, I know they want to come in, but it just makes our process a lot slower if we invite extra people in the morning. So we will again be asking students to bring their physical board and their notebooks, and they may bring a smart device. If they have something they would like to show the judges, but this is not a time for demonstrations or showing the judges what you made physically. So we encourage pictures, maybe a short video, and judges can decide what they would like to see. But this year we will again enforce boards and notebooks only. And I'm going to take a breath and see if there are any questions in the chat, or if anybody wants to unmute themselves and ask a question at this time.
If you're new to the district, where do you get the original booklet?
The original booklet from us or from ISEF?
Well, I'm very new. I've only
Okay.
been here, and I don't know where to get the original booklet that has all the rules, so I can see which ones have been changed.
So
in the chat.
Lorraine,
Go ahead.
Lorraine, we have it posted in our curriculum planner for you, and we can show you how to get there.
Okay,
No.
because right now my PISD website won't let me in, so I'm on my telephone, and I can hear you and everything through my telephone, but I can't get through the school's Zoom. So I don't know if I'm missing out on any kind of slides or QR codes or things that I need.
We will make sure that you have everything that you need. If you're Plano ISD, we will be doubling everything up. We'll go through everything.
Okay, I'll be quiet. Thanks.
Don't be quiet. Ask as many questions as you want.
All
the questions. I know I went through that fast. And yeah, for your new teachers, your first line of, we are always happy to answer questions, the Dallas Regional Committee and staff, but your ISD coordinators are probably, and leaders, have done this before and have all the stuff. And so just to clarify, we do follow all of the ISEF rules. So anything that they have established is what we also require. And then Dallas Regional will also update our handbook, our student guide and our teacher guide, and we'll make sure you have links to those items as well. So FAIR came a lot earlier this year, in my opinion, than it has in the past. So we still have a couple of things to update, and we'll get that all published on the website. So next, let's see if I can get to the next slide here. So we, I hope you're seeing there we go, prizes. So we award cash prizes to first, second, third, and then fourth place for larger categories. And some of our special awards also include cash prizes. So we are a unique fair in the state of Texas, not even the state fair awards category cash prizes. So we believe, and our presenting sponsor, Beal Bank, believes that it is important that we are awarding these students something pretty special. So we host an award banquet. Fred has that date, and I didn't get a chance to put it in my slide, but that will be in the spring. And awards, those that are invited to the awards banquet are category winners, and then winners of certain special award prizes. So it's a fun, usually evening event, and it's a great chance to welcome them to the SMU campus, and also get their pictures taken, get everybody gets to dress up and come and celebrate. So we love that. We also host teacher awards. So we award teachers with another cash prize of the teachers that have the most students that qualify for first, second, or third in our fair. So we love our teachers too. So this is just a quick slide of the fairs that we advance to. So again, the Texas Fair, which is held at A&M in the spring. Our middle school students, I think it's generally, unless they've changed the rules this year, it's generally first and second that get to decide if they would like to submit to the Thermo Fisher Scientific Junior Innovators Challenge. And then, of course, we personally we as a Dallas Regional have 9 spots to go to ISEF. And yes, that is an old logo. It says Dallas 2023. I just realized that. But we have 9 spots that we get to send 9 projects to the International Fair. And then senior division students can also qualify for an international spot at the state fair if they did not receive one at our regional fair. So here's a list of our special award donors. We're really proud of all of those companies that come alongside us and recognize our students and what a great job they do. So I'm going to take another breath and just see if there's any questions about that. Is the kind of basics of the science fair. I will also say, just for your own information, if you have a friend or a niece or nephew or a kid that is going to a school in Region 10 that does not host the science fair, we also have a way for those students to participate, and we also accept homeschool students. So if you know a student that is not attached to a district or school fair, please just have them email us at drsef@smu.edu, and we will probably ask them several questions, but we can get them set up to potentially qualify for the Dallas Regional Fair. So any questions about the basics? My apologies.
Go ahead.
I'm waiting to hear if, and Fred can add to this if he would like. We are waiting to hear if the state fair is going to require digital boards. The answer is probably yes. We like them because it gives our special award judges and our category judges a chance to at least get familiar. Sometimes they have 10 to 13 projects they have to look at in that short period of time. It gives them a chance a couple days before the fair to at least get familiar with the projects they're going to look at. But we also realize that if the state is going to require it, we should go ahead and require it so the students are used to it. So the answer is probably yes, but we're waiting to hear what the final answer is on that. Yes, and judges really like the ability. They kind of got spoiled during COVID because everything was digital, and they liked that they could see the boards before they interviewed students. And here I'd like to say, especially for those new teachers that are joining us, all of our judging rubrics and requirements are on our website. So as you're thinking about preparing your students for the regional fair, especially those in middle school that may be new to the science fair, they get so wrapped up in telling the judges everything they know, and it really is an interview process. It really is a conversation. So students should be prepared with a short intro to their project, but they should also look at it as a pure interview, and that they're not going to be able to tell all the things. Judges only get 10 minutes with each student. So they should be prepared to answer questions and show their interest and familiarity with the project, and not a full demonstration or explanation. So, and the digital boards and the quad charts are really a great way for judges to see those before they even hit the fair on Saturday morning.
I have a question about that.
Sure.
Yeah, beside the digital poster, are the kids required to bring journals with their posters as well?
So we call them their lab notebooks, just tomato, I guess. And we strongly ask for them to bring their lab notebooks. And what that does is, for judges, they can actually see their work. So we don't require it, but we strongly encourage it. So if they're keeping those lab notebooks, it's a great way for judges to be able to flip through something and just see their work.
Thank
you. You're welcome. Anybody else before I move on to our favorite STEM wizard? Okay. All right, so the state of Texas decided to move forward with STEM Wizard, and we're crossing our fingers for several different updates to that system. So those of you that were in it before, we are hoping for digital signatures. So we heard a lot that the physical signatures, the printing of the material, did not work as well. And there are some other updates that we're hoping that STEM Wizard will collectively, as the state of Texas, they will have to use STEM Wizard to go to the Texas Fair. So this is why we decided not to abandon ship this year and give them one more chance to get it right. So I have not set it up, and so we'll be getting into STEM Wizard in the next several weeks. Hopefully everything will be done by the middle of September, and then you and students can start entering in information. And so we'll again be using STEM Wizard to those schools that have sub-fairs. We'll be entering in and using their information, and then we will also be using ours. So the very first step of STEM Wizard is for the teacher themselves to be in the system. So students aren't first. So you as a teacher need to go in and register yourself and pick your school. If your school is not listed, please email us and let us know that your school is not listed. Now, if you are a part of any of the larger districts, they have their own sub-fairs and their own unique landing pages. So if you are a part of Frisco or Plano or Allen or Uplift, or any of the schools listed here, you will mainly probably and only be using their landing pages to register, and for your students then to be able to register and select you as their teacher. So once your student registers and selects you as the teacher, you will have the ability to see them and their deadlines and how they are doing on their paperwork. So again, it looks just the same. Upper right hand corner is the login, and it's going to be a drop down menu, and it's going to say teacher or it's going to say student. And then as the teacher, you select your school from the drop down menu. Again, if you don't see your school, first contact if you have an ISD leader, administrator, contact them, and then they will contact us to get the school added. And then once you register and give our team, excuse me, it's not going to be me this year, but our team, old habits die hard, give our team the chance to approve each teacher on our end, and then the students will be able to see you. So they will register and select your name. So keep in mind, students should be checking in with you, get their paperwork signed before they start any research or start their project. And so that screen will look exactly like this. So Gwen, yeah, so if you are Plano, there is a STEM Wizard / Plano landing page, and you will register through there. And then yes, Ashley and her team will help with instructions and all of that. And then y'all will be responsible for advancing your students who qualify for Dallas to us, and then we will take over from there. Go ahead.
If we already established an account with STEM Wizard from last year, do we need to make another account with a new login, or we can use our old login?
You can use your old, and if you don't know your password, there's a button to say, I forgot my password, and you can reset it.
Perfect, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I'm actually going to stop sharing because that is technically the end of my slides, but I'm sure there are more questions. And so I'll take any, if anyone wants to unmute themselves and ask questions, or if any of the ISD leaders are on the call and would like to jump in, please unmute yourself and do so. Is it possible that I did such a great job explaining that nobody has any questions?
Fabulous job, Heather.
I'm sorry, I do have a question.
Sure.
So, I'm from a very small charter school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know, medium size, I guess. Our middle school has about almost 500 kids, and upper school is about 350, 400 kids. Is it advisable for the students to just register under the campus main teacher like myself, or is it better because then we see that the teachers don't go in and approve the things for the kids to complete all the steps? So
Yeah.
what would be the best choice for our small school?
This came up a lot last year, and thank you for asking this, because this is one of the this was what we loved about Scienteer and what we dislike about STEM Wizard is the fact that only the teacher of record can see, unless you're a sub fair like some of the bigger fairs. So my recommendation is that you have the students all select you. And then maybe I can also, our team can give you a login, especially if you have lots of students. We can give you an admin login so you can look at your students. But I would recommend, for ease and clarity, that if you are going to be guiding students through the process and you're outside one of the sub fairs, that you team up together with your teachers and say who is going to be the teacher of record, so they can help the students get through the process.
Thank you. You're
welcome. So someone asked, when would the first deadline be? And we haven't determined that yet. The other thing that was tricky about STEM Wizard from my perspective last year, as the one trying to get everybody through, is we did only give really one deadline, which is the deadline we've always given, and it worked when we had Scienteer. So if you're part of Plano or Allen or any of the other fairs, you're going to have deadlines from them. And so if you are a sub fair or if you are a smaller fair and you're applying and doing STEM Wizard directly from the Dallas Regional, we will probably put in deadlines for one of the things we saw last year that really didn't work was students and teachers waiting until February to put their information in STEM Wizard, and that there just wasn't enough time, and we missed some deadlines. So we probably will establish probably in January to say, if you are advancing students, they need to be in STEM Wizard by a certain date. Because really, by the time our fair rolls around January, February, you all know who you're sending. And so we need to get them in there so that they can get their stuff uploaded and it can be approved. And so we will definitely be giving a deadline for that. So thank you for asking that. And then we have not yet established our final deadline for our fair. Typically it's 2 or 3. It's 2 Fridays before our fair, and that will probably be the same. But we need to do that, and we'll definitely publish that in the the handbook that we are going to be producing. I am new and I only see a login for an existing account. How do I create an account? It should, I think it's probably because I haven't done the steps to establish our STEM Wizard yet. So give me or give our team a couple of weeks. I can't stop saying me. Give our team a couple of weeks to get STEM Wizard set up, and we'll send out an email and let you all know that we're ready to go. And then you'll be able to probably log. You probably can't log in right now, now that I'm thinking about it.
Heather, there was also a question about students who were part of the fair last year. Will they need to re-register in STEM Wizard this year, or will they just be able to use last year's login to go in? And so in Scienteer, it was nice because it was cleared out and they could just start over.
Yeah, and I believe the same is happening. So so I'm gonna amend my response from the teacher one, because now I remember I got an email from STEM Wizard saying that they were cleaning our account out. So I think everybody probably starts new again. And Ashley, you probably have heard the same thing from them, right?
I have not gotten anything from them.
Okay.
Directly. So yeah. Okay. So, I mean,
I'm assuming we're all starting new this year.
I'm okay with that as
yeah.
Starting new is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it prevents old email addresses and
yes.
all the things. Okay, so it has been cleaned out. Okay, thank you for letting us know. And we'll get on that, and in the next couple of weeks, get everybody, get our site set up with deadlines and all of that. Who else has questions? So I think Fred has provided our SRC chair in the past, went through the new guidelines for ISEF this year and some of the things that have changed. And so there is a link to those slides. It's really not a lot of things I want people to keep in mind. I think one of the bigger things we saw in the past was, or last year, students really wanting to build apps for medical reasons. And please remind your students that that if they are creating an app, they are not allowed to give any kind of diagnosis, not even to their dog or their sibling. So apps need to, you need to read those parts of the ISEF rules really closely. I'm trying to remember, we always have problems with growing things at home. So make sure that if
Growing at home.
yeah, if students are culturing or are growing mold or anything, that you're pretty specific about, okay, here are the thank you, Fred.
I can flip through these briefly if that's of use, if you want
Yeah,
to take a
yeah.
look. Okay. All right.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
So I'll go through and you tell me when. So
Go for it.
okay. All right. So yeah, looks like this is updated. All right.
If
Okay.
y'all want to speak to any of these, if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a simple where they're designated versus direct, so it's only the name. This is an easy one.
Okay. All right.
So this was a big topic of conversation for ISEF last year, with students having more access to AI. So make sure that especially our senior division students understand that their projects, their abstracts will be screened on the state level and the international level for ethics and use of any kind of AI or plagiarism. This actually creeped its way all the way up to a first place winner at ISEF. So they're taking it very seriously this year. So caution students that using AI for any part of your project is going to be caught. Let's just say that. All right,
Okay.
next.
All right.
So we talked, yeah. So integrity.
Yeah. Plagiarism AI.
Mhm.
Okay.
So here again is the medical. So no advice, diagnostic, or any kind of medical information. They are not doctors. They did not create an app that is going to solve a medical problem.
Okay.
So again, PHB, do not grow it at home. You need a lab. Again, need a lab.
Yeah, more of the same.
Yep. So qualifying a specific strand, prescription drugs, and yep. So anybody using PHBs, hazardous chemicals, any of that, you need to go over these rules and guidelines with the students.
We did have a student last year that was using some, I guess, leftover prescription medication from a parent. They had their parents' permission to use it, but if you've got anyone trying to do something like that, really, really read over those rules.
And seek advice when needed. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay.
So the forms that have changed, it will be run through a plagiarism checker. They've made some recommendations. We love that. So just some forms that they've changed, and they always make these changes because somebody did something. So they're not making changes just to have fun. There's a problem that they're trying to solve for.
Somebody screwed something up.
Uh-huh. Yep, somebody screwed something up.
Okay.
So 1C has has an addition.
Okay. So,
Qualified scientist. 5A, if students are working with vertebrate animals, especially in senior division, they need to get some extra signatures.
For anybody on here, a lot of students seem to forget that fish are in fact vertebrates.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. And then this one, especially in senior division, this one trips students. We actually disqualified a project at regional. When they're doing continuation projects, really go over with them what can be on their board and what cannot be on their board. We had it was actually a team of students that did a wonderful job, and the only thing that tripped them up was the fact that their previous research was on their board. It can be in the binder, but it cannot be on the board. And we had to disqualify them, and it was just for a minor infraction, but it is the ISEF rules. Yeah, so we haven't voted as a committee yet, but we will be adding the new category this year. We like to follow the ISEF categories to the T, so we will be adding that one this year. Thank you, Fred, for bringing this one up, and I'm glad it's included here, because this is also a place that really trips students up, is assigning categories. So I encourage you all as teachers, especially when you're helping your students in the senior division, to really look at the subcategories. What subcategory does my project fit in? Students will take advice from any old person on the street, and they will put themselves in a category that they do not belong in. And my strong recommendation to them is they cannot win in a category they do not belong in. And so we get judges all the time that say, how are we supposed to judge this project? It's not in the right category. So please use the subcategories as your basic guideline to helping your students get in the right categories. So
They also like to try to play games as to, is there a category with fewer kids in it? I'll do that one because I'm more likely to win. Judges don't like to see judges do not like seeing a project that they feel does not belong in the category they're judging.
Well, yeah, and they will not award that project first, second, or third place, I promise you.
Yeah, I mean, they'll basically, if they feel like the project's been placed in the wrong category, for all intents and purposes, they kick it out.
Yeah.
They simply won't give it an award.
I don't
so
know.
onto presentation rules. Let's see, just form things, but
Yep, the logo one is always a big one. So they can make their own logo, but they can't put professional, commercial, no Cheetos, no Wheaties, no nothing. So just don't put them on your board. So yeah, no, we do not allow judges to scan QR codes while they're at boards. Don't include them. Don't put your name. Don't put all your awards. Don't bring your awards. I've seen students bring medals and their patent pending paper and all of that. Don't bring them. It's not part of the judging process for the regional fair or the state fair or ISEF. Yes, they can use corporate names without the logo. The logo is what is copyrighted. So yeah, again, going over no objects other than your board, your binder, or a smart device. Students will not have access to power or Wi-Fi in the automobile building at Fair Park. So if they're going to show a video, it needs to be downloaded on whatever device they have. And I cannot guarantee how the cell signal strength will be in the building when there's 1,000 students also trying to do the same thing.
Okay. And I think that's it. And yeah.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Yep. So
Right.
this is available to you. Please use it. It is all of these links and QR codes are all great resources. And again, if you have questions, please ask. So someone asked, you have a meeting scheduled with students for 9/3. So depending on if you're in the junior division, middle school, or senior division for high school, they can start on their forms, right? Getting pre-approvals. They can, start their research. Really, I don't know what district you're in, Jennifer, but if you're getting information for your students, they can probably start. You're in Allen. Okay, so you will be doing your students will be going through the Allen fair, and so we'll be getting some information out to your ISD leader, and y'all can start. But remember, they need signatures and whatnot to get started on their research, so they should start there. And I highly recommend going through the student and judge resources on our page, because it just gives a really good overview of the things that they can expect at the regional fair.
Safety consent form, changes made to that form.
Repeat that, Ashley. You were going in and out for me.
Sorry, I can put it in the chat as well if that's easier, but are there going to be any changes or any updates to the middle school safety and consent form since last year we went to that?
That's a great question, and that was a statewide initiative. So I feel like we as a regional fair need to gather and make a decision about that. But I think when it goes to middle or junior division students going to state, it will be that one form, but I think it's going to be opened up for digital signatures. So I think it's going to also hopefully solve some of the issues. And I know we all felt strongly that it was a good idea to start our junior division students out with all the correct paperwork, but I don't think that the regional fairs in the state of Texas voted that way. So we'll make sure that we get that information.
Things if you get a chance to talk to them was just, unless it's a project that needs a pre-approval, there's not really a good place for the signatures for people. Like, there are a lot of kids that are just going to go without any real checks at all.
Yeah.
So that was kind of our one hope.
Yeah.
With an update on that form.
Right.
From the state.
Yeah. I think the state looks at that and sees, oh, look, we can do easier paperwork for junior division, and isn't really thinking about getting the students familiar with the process. What other questions do you all have? I think that's great. I will gladly, Fred, stay on if people want to ask individual questions, but unless you have something to add, that was the end.